in the vast silence of the Cassiopeia galaxy, where stars shimmer like scattered diamonds, a faint, emerald glow catches the eye of Lyra, a young celestial navigator. It's not just any light. It's a beacon from a forgotten moon, one that whispers of secrets lost to time. For Lyra, this isn't just a discovery. It's a call to uncover something deeper, something tied to the stories her ancestors once told. With a steady hand, she adjusts her ship's course, drawn by an inexplicable pull toward the mysterious glow. As the hum of her engines fades into the void, the emerald light grows brighter, casting an otherworldly glow over her cockpit. What begins as a simple exploration soon becomes a journey into the unknown, where the past and the cosmos collide in ways she could never have imagined. What waits for her on that moon? The answer lies ahead, hidden in the shadows of a cosmic mystery. As the ship's landing gears touch the moon's surface with a soft thud, Lyra steps out into a world unlike any she's ever seen. The air is thick with an almost tangible energy, electric and alive, as if the very ground beneath her feet hums with ancient power. Surrounding her is a forest, unlike anything in the known galaxy, trees that glow faintly in shades of green and blue, their leaves shimmering as though lit from within. The bioluminescent light casts an ethereal glow, illuminating her path as she ventures deeper into this strange, otherworldly landscape. Her footsteps are quiet, muffled by the soft, mossy ground, but every sound seems amplified in the eerie silence. The air carries a faint, sweet scent, like the memory of rain after a long drought. Then she sees it, a towering tree, its bark etched with intricate runes that pulse rhythmically, as if alive. The runes shimmer with the same emerald light that first drew her here, their glow syncing with the steady beat of her heart. It's as if the tree is speaking to her, not with words, but with something deeper, something primal. Lyra hesitates, her hand hovering just above the glowing bark. Before she can touch it, the tree seems to stir, its branches creaking softly as if awakening from a long slumber. A voice, deep and resonant, fills her mind, not as sound but as feeling. It speaks of a force buried deep beneath the moon's surface, a power ancient and immense, capable of reshaping the galaxy itself. The tree warns her of the dangers of awakening it, of the chaos that could follow if the force is unleashed. Yet, there's a flicker of hope in its words, a suggestion that this power could also bring salvation, if wielded wisely. Her curiosity burns brighter than ever, but so does the unease coiling in her chest. The warning lingers in her mind, a heavy weight she can't shake. Should she turn back, leaving this mystery untouched, or should she press forward, risking everything for the chance to uncover the truth? The moon seems to hold its breath, waiting for her decision, as the glowing runes pulse faster, as if urging her to choose. The silence stretches, broken only by the faint hum of the forest, and Lyra stands at the edge of a choice that could change everything. Ignoring the tree's caution, Lyra takes a deep breath and steps forward, her boots sinking slightly into the soft, glowing moss. The forest seems to respond to her movement, the bioluminescent trees swaying gently as if guiding her deeper. Each step feels heavier, as though the moon itself is testing her resolve. The air grows warmer, and the hum of the forest intensifies, a low, resonant vibration that seems to pulse in time with her heartbeat. Ahead, The trees part to reveal a clearing, and there, rising from the ground like a forgotten dream, stands a temple carved entirely from shimmering emerald stone. The temple's surface glows faintly, its intricate carvings catching the light in a way that makes the entire structure seem alive. Lyra hesitates for only a moment before approaching, her curiosity outweighing her unease. As she steps inside, the air changes cooler, crisper, with a faint metallic tang. The walls are lined with murals, their colors still vibrant despite the passage of time. She moves closer, her eyes drawn to the largest mural at the center of the temple. It depicts a cosmic battle, vast and otherworldly, with swirling galaxies and stars colliding in a dance of light and shadow. At the heart of the chaos stands a figure, their features eerily familiar. It's her. Lyra's breath catches as she stares at the mural, her reflection almost mirrored in the figure's stance. The details are uncanny, the same determined expression, the same posture of readiness. Before she can process what this means, the ground beneath her feet trembles violently. The temple shakes, dust and fragments of emerald stone raining down from the ceiling. A voice, deep and resonant, echoes in her mind, not as words, but as a commanding presence. It speaks of a guardian, long dormant, waiting to be awakened. The voice urges her to act, to take up the mantle of whatever this guardian represents. Her pulse quickens as she looks around, the temple's walls now glowing brighter, the murals seeming to shift and ripple as if alive. She feels a presence, something ancient, powerful, and watchful. The air grows thick, and the hairs on the back of her neck stand on end. She's not alone. Shadows move at the edges of her vision, not cast by any light, but existing on their own, shifting and twisting like living things. The voice in her mind grows louder, more insistent, but it's drowned out by the sudden, overwhelming sense that she's being observed. Every instinct tells her to run, but her feet remain rooted to the spot, drawn by the weight of the choice before her. The temple's walls seem to close in, the murals glowing brighter still, their figures almost seeming to step out of the stone. The guardian, whoever or whatever it is, feels closer now, as if its awakening is inevitable. Lyra's hand instinctively reaches for the device at her side, a tool left to her by her ancestors, its purpose still unclear. Could this be the key, or is it merely another piece of the puzzle? The shadows around her deepen, their movements more deliberate, and she realizes with a start that they're not just watching, they're waiting for her. The tension in the air is palpable, the moon itself holding its breath, as Lyra stands at the precipice of a decision that could unravel the very fabric of the cosmos. The moment Lyra's fingers brush against the temple's central mural, a sharp click echoes through the chamber. The ground beneath her shifts, and a hidden panel slides open, revealing a dark, gaping chasm. From the depths, a swarm of shadowy creatures surges forth, their forms shifting and writhing like smoke given life. Lyra's instincts kick in, and she bolts for the temple's entrance, her heart pounding as the creatures close in with terrifying speed. Their whispers, low and guttural, fill the air, a cacophony of voices that seem to claw at her mind. Dashing toward her ship, Lyra fumbles with the controls, her hands trembling. Just as the creatures are about to overtake her, she activates the ship's energy pulse. a last-ditch defense mechanism. A blinding burst of light erupts, scattering the shadows and buying her precious seconds. But the relief is fleeting. The creatures regroup almost instantly, their forms reforming with a chilling resilience. Lyra's ship lifts off, but the shadows cling to its hull, their tendrils lashing out like dark flames. The chase is relentless. Lyra maneuvers through the moon's dense, glowing forest, her ship's alarms blaring as the shadows tear at its outer layers. Exhaustion begins to creep in, her vision blurring as she struggles to stay ahead. A sudden jolt sends her ship careening into a clearing, where it crashes with a deafening thud. Lyra tumbles out, her body battered and her strength waning. The shadows close in, their whispers now a deafening roar. As she forces herself to crawl forward, her hand brushes against something warm and pulsing. A pool of glowing liquid, its surface rippling with an otherworldly light. Desperate, she plunges her hand into the pool, and a surge of energy courses through her. Her wounds begin to heal, the pain replaced by a comforting warmth. But the pool offers more than physical relief. As the glow intensifies, Lyra's surroundings fade, replaced by a vision of figures silhouetted against a starry sky. Her ancestors, their voices are soft but firm, their words carrying the weight of centuries. They speak of a destiny intertwined with the moon's ancient power, of a legacy she must reclaim. The moon's heart holds the key, they tell her, their message cryptic yet urgent. The vision fades as quickly as it came, leaving Lyra standing by the pool, her body healed but her mind racing. The shadows still lurk at the edge of the clearing, their forms twisting in agitation, as if the pool's energy repels them. Clutching the device her ancestors left her, Lyra feels a renewed sense of purpose. The cryptic message echoes in her mind, a puzzle she must solve. What is the moon's heart, and how can it hold the key to the power, or peril, that lies hidden here? The shadows advance again, their whispers growing louder, but Lyra's resolve hardens. She's no longer just an explorer. She's a guardian, and the moon's secrets are hers to uncover, or protect. With the whispers of her ancestors still echoing in her mind, Lyra moves with purpose, her steps guided by the vision's cryptic message. The moon's heart, they said it must be here, somewhere beneath the temple. The air grows cooler as she descends into a hidden passage, her boots echoing softly against the smooth, emerald-veined stone. The walls seem to hum faintly, as if alive with the same energy that pulses through the forest above. With every step, the tension builds, a silent promise that the answers she seeks are close. The passage opens into a vast cavern, its ceiling lost in shadows, and its walls lined with ancient machinery, their surfaces etched with the same glowing runes she saw on the tree. At the center of it all rests a massive crystal, its surface shimmering with an inner light that shifts between deep green and brilliant gold. The crystal pulses rhythmically, like a heartbeat, and Lyra feels its energy resonate within her own chest. It's alive, not in the way a person is, but in the way the stars are alive, vast and eternal. She can't explain how she knows this, but the certainty settles over her like a second skin. As she steps closer, the hum of the crystal grows louder, a low, resonant vibration that seems to fill the cavern. The air grows heavier, charged with an intensity that makes her hair stand on end. But before she can reach the crystal, the shadows return, They pour into the cavern like a living tide, their forms twisting and writhing as they converge on her. Their whispers rise to a deafening roar, a cacophony of voices that claw at her mind, threatening to overwhelm her. Lyra's instincts take over. She raises her hands, and something extraordinary happens. Light bursts forth from her palms, pure and radiant, cutting through the shadows like a blade. The creatures recoil, their forms flickering and dissolving under the onslaught. The light feels natural, as if it's always been a part of her, waiting for this moment to awaken. She channels it with everything she has, her body trembling with the effort, but the shadows are relentless. They regroup, their forms reforming with a terrifying speed, and the battle becomes a desperate dance of light and darkness. The cavern flickers with bursts of brilliance as Lyra fights, her movements fueled by equal parts determination and fear. The shadows press closer, their whispers now a chaotic symphony of rage and hunger. Just as her strength begins to wane, she focuses on the crystal, its pulsing light a beacon in the chaos. Drawing on its energy, she unleashes one final, blinding burst of light, scattering the shadows and leaving the cavern in silence. Breathing heavily, Lyra collapses to her knees, her body trembling with exhaustion. The crystal's glow softens, its hum now a soothing, steady rhythm. She looks up at it, her mind racing with questions. What is this power? Why does it respond to her? And what does it mean for the moon? And for her, the crystal seems to hold the answers, its light pulsing in time with her heartbeat, as if it's waiting for her to understand. The shadows may be defeated for now, but the weight of what lies ahead settles over her, heavy and undeniable. The moon's heart beats with a power that could save or destroy everything she knows. Lyra reaches out toward the crystal, her fingers trembling as they hover just above its shimmering surface. The air grows still, the cavern's hum fading into an eerie silence. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, without warning, the crystal erupts with a blinding surge of energy. A sharp, searing pain shoots through her body, and the world goes dark. When she opens her eyes, she's no longer in the cavern. The ground beneath her is soft and shifting, like walking on clouds, and the sky above is a swirling tapestry of colors, deep purples, greens, and golds that seem to pulse with life. This isn't the moon. It's something else entirely, a place that exists between worlds, where reality bends and folds like a dream. Lyra rises to her feet, her body feeling weightless, as if the rules of gravity no longer apply. A figure materializes before her, tall and radiant, their form made of starlight and shadow. They introduce themselves as Alien, the spirit of the moon's guardian. Their voice is calm, but carries an undercurrent of urgency, each word resonating deep within her. You've awakened something ancient, they say, their gaze piercing yet kind. The moon is not just a place of power, it is a prison, holding back a darkness that could consume the galaxy. Lyra's mind races as Alien explains the truth. The crystal she encountered is the heart of the moon, a seal crafted by her ancestors to contain an ancient force of chaos. Her arrival, her connection to the crystal, has weakened the seals. If the darkness escapes, it will spread like a plague, devouring stars and worlds in its path. The weight of the revelation settles over her like a storm cloud, heavy and inescapable. Alien steps closer, their form shimmering with a gentle light. You carry the blood of those who built this prison, they say. The power within you is a key to either strengthen the seals or shatter them completely. But you must learn to wield it, or the darkness will claim everything. The spirit extends a hand, their touch cool yet comforting, and Lyra feels a surge of warmth spread through her. Images flood her mind, visions of her ancestors crafting the seals, pouring their strength into the crystal and binding the darkness with their last breath. She sees the galaxy as it once was, vibrant and full of life, and then as it could become a barren void, consumed by shadows. Alien's voice softens, but the gravity of their words remains. I can guide you, but the choice is yours. To walk this path is to risk everything. Fail, and the galaxy falls. Succeed, and you may restore balance. But the cost will be great. Lyra's chest tightens as the enormity of the decision presses down on her. She's no longer just an explorer or a wanderer. She's a guardian, a protector of something far greater than herself. The dreamlike realm begins to fade, the colors swirling faster, pulling her back toward the cavern. Alien's voice echoes in her mind, a final reminder. Time is not on our side. Choose wisely. As the vision dissolves, Lyra awakens in the cavern. The crystals glow dim but steady. Her body feels different, as if something within her has shifted, awakened. The shadows are gone, but their presence lingers, a reminder of what's at stake. She looks at the crystal, its light pulsing in time with her heartbeat, and knows there's no turning back. The moon's heart beats with a power that could save the galaxy, or destroy it. And now, that power is hers to wield. Lyra stands in the cavern, the crystal's faint glow casting long shadows across the walls. Alien's presence lingers, their words still echoing in her mind. The weight of her newfound responsibility presses down on her, but there's no time to hesitate. The shadows may have retreated, but their threat looms closer than ever. Alien's voice cuts through the silence, calm yet firm. To wield the moon's energy, you must first understand it. This is not a power you can force. It must flow through you, as natural as breath. The training begins with a simple yet daunting task: stillness. Lyra sits cross-legged before the crystal, her hands resting lightly on her knees. Alien instructs her to clear her mind, to let go of her fears and doubts. But as the seconds stretch into minutes, her thoughts race. What if she fails? What if the darkness breaks free because of her? The crystal's hum grows louder, its rhythm erratic, as if reflecting her inner turmoil. Alien's voice interrupts her spiraling thoughts. Focus. The crystal responds to your emotions. If you cannot master yourself, you cannot master its power. Days blur into weeks as Lyra practices, her body growing weary, but her determination unyielding. Alien guides her through exercises that test her limits, meditations that stretch her focus, physical tasks that push her endurance, and moments of stillness that force her to confront her deepest fears. Each failure is met with patience, each small success with quiet encouragement. Yet, the self-doubt lingers, a shadow she can't seem to shake. One evening, as the cavern's glow dims to a soft ember, Lyra breaks the silence. What if I'm not strong enough? What if I'm not what the moon needs? Alien turns to her, their starlit form shimmering with a gentle light. Your ancestors stood where you stand now. They were not born strong, they became strong through sacrifice, through the choices they made. You carry their blood, their legacy, but strength is not given, it is forged. The words strike a chord deep within her, and for the first time, Lyra allows herself to truly believe that she might be capable of this monumental task. As the days pass, Lyra begins to notice subtle changes. The crystal's energy feels less foreign, its hum more in harmony with her own heartbeat. She learns to channel its light through her hands, creating bursts of radiance that push back the shadows with increasing ease. But the true breakthrough comes during a moment of quiet reflection. As she sits before the crystal, her mind calm and her body still, she feels a connection, not just to the moon, but to something deeper, something ancient and eternal. It's as if the crystal is sharing its memories, its purpose, with her. Alien watches silently, their expression unreadable, but their presence a steady anchor. Lyra rises, her movements deliberate, and extends her hand toward the crystal. This time, the energy flows effortlessly, a ribbon of light wrapping around her arm like a living thing. The cavern fills with a brilliant glow, and for a moment, she feels invincible. But Alien's voice cuts through the euphoria, grounding her. This is only the beginning. The shadows grow stronger, and time is not on our side. You must be ready. Lyra nods, her resolve hardening. The self-doubt hasn't vanished, but it no longer controls her. She thinks of her ancestors, their sacrifices, their courage. They faced the darkness with nothing but their will and their belief in what was right. She can do the same. As the crystal's light fades, leaving the cavern in a soft emerald glow, Lyra takes a deep breath. The path ahead is uncertain, but she knows one thing for certain. She will honor her ancestors' legacy, no matter the cost. The training continues, but the peace of the cavern is shattered as the shadowy creatures return, their attacks more aggressive than before. They surge toward Lyra in relentless waves, their forms twisting and writhing like living smoke. Each battle is a test of endurance, her growing power a beacon that draws them closer. Though she fights with everything she has, the exhaustion begins to take its toll. Her limbs ache, her breath comes in ragged gasps, and the light she channels dims with every encounter. It's as if the shadows are feeding on her weariness, growing stronger with each strike. Alien watches from the edges of the cavern, their starlit form flickering with concern. The darkness is not just attacking you, they explain, their voice steady but urgent. It's feeding on your fear, your doubt. Every moment of hesitation, every flicker of uncertainty gives it strength. You must find a way to quiet the storm within, or you risk becoming a vessel for the very force you seek to contain. Lyra's heart pounds as the words sink in. She had thought the battles were purely physical, but now she realizes the true fight lies within herself. The shadows are not just enemies, they are reflections of her own struggles, amplified by the moon's ancient energy. Each time she falters, each time she questions her ability to succeed, she unwittingly strengthens the darkness. The realization is both terrifying and empowering. Between waves of attacks, Lyra retreats to the crystal, seeking solace in its steady hum. She closes her eyes and focuses on her breathing, trying to quiet the storm of thoughts in her mind. But the shadows are relentless, their whispers creeping into her thoughts, sowing seeds of doubt. You're not strong enough, they hiss. You'll fail, just like the others. The words sting, but Lyra clings to Alien's guidance. She must master herself before she can master the power of the moon. As the days pass, the battles grow more intense, but so does Lyra's resolve. She begins to notice patterns in the shadows' attacks, their movements tied to her own emotions. When she feels confident, her light burns brighter, pushing them back. When doubt creeps in, they surge forward, their whispers growing louder. It's a cruel but effective teacher, forcing her to confront her deepest fears head-on. Slowly, she learns to channel not just the crystal's energy, but her own inner strength. One particularly grueling battle leaves Lyra on the brink of collapse. The shadows swarm her, their forms dense and suffocating, their whispers a deafening roar. She feels her strength waning, her light flickering like a dying flame. But then, something shifts. A memory surfaces her ancestors, standing tall against the darkness, their faces resolute and unyielding. The image fills her with a fierce determination, and she channels that resolve into her next strike. The light erupts from her in a blinding burst, scattering the shadows and leaving the cavern in silence. Alien approaches, their expression a mix of pride and caution. You've taken the first step, they say, but the darkness will not rest. It will push you harder, test you further. You must be ready. Lyra nods, her body trembling but her spirit unbroken. She knows the road ahead is fraught with danger, but she also knows she's not alone. The crystal's light pulses softly, a reminder of the power she carries and the responsibility it entails. The battles continue, but with each encounter, Lyra grows stronger, her connection to the crystal deepening. The shadows still come, their attacks fierce and unrelenting, but they no longer hold the same power over her. She's learning to quiet the storm within, to face her fears without flinching, and though the darkness grows bolder, so does she. The moon's heart beats with a rhythm that matches her own, a silent promise that together they can hold back the tide. But time is running out, and the final confrontation looms closer with every passing moment. The cavern's glow dims as Lyra steps deeper into the temple, her footsteps echoing softly against the ancient stone. Her eyes catch a glimmer of light in the shadows, a staff, resting against a wall as if waiting for her. Its surface is smooth, carved with the same intricate runes she's seen throughout the moon, and it pulses faintly with an emerald light. She hesitates, her hand hovering just above it. The air feels charged, as though the staff itself is alive, humming with an energy that calls to her. With a deep breath, she reaches out and grasps it. The moment her fingers close around the staff, a surge of power courses through her, sharp and electric. Her vision blurs, then clears, and suddenly, she sees the world with startling clarity. The cavern's walls seem to shimmer with hidden patterns, the crystal's light more vivid, the shadows more defined. But the clarity comes with a cost. Her emotions flare, magnified every fear, every doubt, every flicker of anger or insecurity feels amplified, as if the staff is pulling them to the surface. She feels stronger, more connected to the moon's energy than ever before, but also more exposed, as though the darkness can now see straight into her soul. Alien appears beside her, their starlit form flickering with concern. The staff is a tool of great power, they warn, their voice low and steady, but it is also a mirror. It reflects not just your strength, but your weaknesses. If you let it control you, it will consume you. Lyra tightens her grip, the staff's energy pulsing in time with her heartbeat. She can feel its potential, the way it channels the moon's energy with precision and force. But she also feels the danger, the way it whispers to her, tempting her to unleash its power without restraint. The shadows return, their forms twisting and writhing as they close in. Without thinking, Lyra raises the staff, and a beam of emerald light erupts from its tip, scattering the creatures with ease. The rush of power is intoxicating, and for a moment, she feels invincible. But as the light fades, she notices something. Her hands are trembling, her breath coming in short, uneven gasps. The staff's energy lingers, a faint hum that seems to echo her own emotions. It's as if the staff is feeding off her, drawing strength from her inner turmoil. Alien's voice cuts through her thoughts, sharp and insistent. The staff is not a weapon to be wielded lightly. It amplifies what is already within you: your courage, your fear, your resolve, your doubt. If you let it, it will turn your emotions against you. Lyra looks down at the staff, its glow now faint but steady. She knows Alien is right. The staff is a double-edged sword, a source of immense power, but also a vulnerability she can't afford to ignore. As the days pass, Lyra begins to train with the staff, learning to channel its energy without letting it control her. The process is grueling. Each session, a battle not just against the shadows, but against herself. She learns to focus her emotions, to channel her fear into determination, her doubt into resolve. But the staff's pull is relentless. Its whispers a constant reminder of the power she holds and the danger it poses. Each time she uses it, she feels the temptation to go further, to unleash its full force, and each time she must remind herself of the cost. The shadows grow bolder, their attacks more coordinated, as if they sense her vulnerability. One night, as Lyra faces a particularly fierce wave, she feels the staff's energy surge uncontrollably. Her fear spikes, and with it, the staff's power grows until the cavern is filled with a blinding light. When it fades, the shadows are gone, but so is her strength. She collapses to her knees, the staff slipping from her grasp. Alien appears, their expression grave. You cannot let it consume you, they say. The staff is a tool, not a crutch. You must master it, or it will master you. Lyra looks at the staff, its glow now faint but steady. She knows the road ahead will be difficult, but she also knows she has no choice. The staff is both her greatest weapon and her greatest weakness, a reflection of her strength and her struggles. To wield it is to walk a razor's edge, balancing power and control, but she is determined to learn, to grow, to become the guardian the moon needs. As she picks up the staff once more, she feels a flicker of hope. The darkness may be strong, but so is she, and with the staff in her hands, she is ready to face whatever comes next. The cavern's quiet hum fades as Alien's voice fills the space, their words measured and heavy with urgency. The final seal, they begin, their starlit form glowing brighter, lies at the moon's core. But the path is not one of stone and light. It is a labyrinth of the mind, a trial of spirit and will. To reach the seal, you must face what lies within you, your fears, your regrets, the shadows you carry. Lyra's chest tightens at the words, but she nods, her grip tightening on the staff. She knows there's no turning back now. The entrance to the labyrinth appears as if summoned by aliens' words, a swirling portal of light and shadow, its edges rippling like water. Lyra steps through, and the world shifts around her. The cavern vanishes, replaced by a maze of shifting walls and twisting corridors, each turn more disorienting than the last. The air is thick, almost suffocating, and the faint sound of whispers echoes from unseen corners. She takes a deep breath, steadying herself, and begins to move forward. Almost immediately, the labyrinth begins to test her. The walls seem alive, their surfaces shifting to form images from her past faces of those she's lost, moments of failure, choices she regrets. The first vision stops her in her tracks. It's her mother, standing before her, her expression a mix of disappointment and sorrow. "You were never enough," the vision whispers, its voice cutting deeper than any blade. Lyra's heart aches, but she forces herself to step forward, refusing to let the illusion hold her back. The further she ventures, the more the labyrinth twists her emotions against her. Shadows rise from the ground, taking on the forms of people she's failed, voices she's silenced, opportunities she's let slip away. Each step is a battle, not just against the labyrinth's illusions, but against the weight of her own guilt. The staff in her hand hums faintly, its energy a constant reminder of the power she carries and the responsibility she must bear. She uses it to push back the shadows, but every strike takes a toll, her resolve flickering like a flame in the wind. At one point, the labyrinth shifts into a memory she's tried to bury, a moment from her childhood when she turned her back on someone in need, too afraid to help. The regret hits her like a tidal wave, threatening to pull her under. She stumbles, her breath coming in ragged gasps, but aliens' words echo in her mind. The labyrinth does not judge you for your past. It tests your willingness to face it. With a shuddering breath, Lyra rises, forcing herself to confront the memory head-on. She whispers an apology to the vision, not for its sake, but for her own. The moment she does, the illusion dissolves, and the path ahead clears slightly. The labyrinth's illusions grow more intense as she progresses, each one a mirror of her deepest fears and regrets. She sees herself failing to protect the moon, the darkness breaking free, and the galaxy consumed by shadows. The weight of it is crushing, but Lyra clings to Alien's guidance. She begins to understand that the labyrinth isn't just a test of strength, it's a test of self-forgiveness. Each step forward is a choice to let go of the past and embrace the responsibility of the present. As she nears the labyrinth's heart, the final vision appears. It's herself, but not as she is now. This version of her is broken, defeated, the staff shattered at her feet. "You'll fail," the vision says, its voice a chilling echo of her own. "You're not strong enough." For a moment, Lyra freezes, the words sinking into her like poison. But then she remembers Alien's warning. The labyrinth feeds on doubt. She takes a step forward, then another, until she's face to face with the vision. "Maybe I'm not strong enough yet," she says, her voice steady despite the fear clawing at her chest. "But I'm willing to try." The vision shatters, and the labyrinth falls silent. The path ahead opens, leading to a massive door, etched with the same glowing runes she's seen throughout the moon. Beyond it lies the final seal, and with it, the key to containing the darkness. Lyra takes a deep breath, her heart pounding but her resolve unshaken. She's not the same person who entered the labyrinth. She's faced her fears, confronted her regrets, and emerged stronger for it. The final challenge awaits, but she's ready to face it not as a wanderer, but as a guardian. The air grows heavy as Lyra steps into the labyrinth's heart, a cavernous chamber bathed in an eerie, shifting light. At its center stands a figure her own reflection, but darker, sharper, its eyes gleaming with a cold, mocking light. The doppelganger steps forward, its voice a chilling echo of her own. You think you can succeed where others failed. It sneers, its words dripping with disdain. You're nothing but a shadow of your ancestors, weak, broken. Destined to fail, Lyra's breath catches, her grip tightening on the staff. The doppelganger's words cut deep, each one a dagger aimed at the doubts she's fought so hard to bury. It circles her, its movements fluid and predatory as it continues its onslaught. You've always run from your mistakes, it hisses. You've always let fear control you. Why should this time be any different? For a moment, Lyra feels the weight of those words pressing down on her, threatening to crush her resolve. But then she remembers the lessons of the labyrinth, the moments she faced her regrets, the time she chose to move forward despite the pain. She straightens, her voice steady despite the tremor in her chest. I've made mistakes, she admits, her gaze locked on the doppelganger, but I'm not running anymore. The doppelganger laughs, a harsh, grating sound that echoes through the chamber. Brave words, it mocks, but bravery won't save you. You're not strong enough to bear this burden. You never were. Lyra feels the truth in those words, but she also feels something else, a spark of defiance, a flicker of the strength she's been building. She raises the staff, its light flaring brighter as she channels her emotions into it. Maybe I'm not strong enough yet, she says, her voice firm, but I'm willing to try. And that's enough. The doppelganger lunges, its form shifting into a swirling mass of shadows. Lyra meets it head on, her staff cutting through the darkness with bursts of radiant energy. The battle is fierce, each strike a test of her will, each blow a confrontation with her deepest fears. The doppelganger's taunts continue, but they no longer hold the same power over her. She begins to see it for what it truly is, a reflection of her doubts, not her destiny. With a final, determined cry, Lyra channels all her strength into one last strike. The staff's light erupts in a blinding wave, engulfing the doppelganger and scattering its form into nothingness. The chamber falls silent, the air thick with the echoes of the battle. Lyra stands at the center, her chest heaving, her body trembling with exhaustion, but her spirit unbroken. As the light fades, she feels a shift within her, a deeper connection to the moon's energy, as if the labyrinth has forged her into something stronger, something more. The staff hums softly in her hand, its glow steady and reassuring, but the victory is bittersweet. The darkness, now more restless than ever, stirs in the depths of the moon, its whispers growing louder, more insistent. The final seal is within reach, but the cost of protecting it may be greater than Lyra ever imagined. The path ahead narrows as Lyra descends deeper into the moon's core, the air growing colder and heavier with each step. The walls around her shimmer faintly, their surfaces etched with ancient runes that pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat. The deeper she goes, the louder the whispers become, soft, insistent murmurs that seem to echo not in her ears, but in her very soul. They speak of power, of chaos, of a darkness that has waited eons for this moment. And then she sees it. The final seal looms before her, a towering crystal fractured down its center, its surface marred by jagged cracks that leak tendrils of black energy. The crystal pulses faintly, its light flickering like a dying star, and the air around it hums with an oppressive, almost suffocating energy. It's as if the moon itself is holding its breath, waiting for her next move. Lyra steps closer, her grip on the staff tightening, but before she can act, a familiar presence materializes beside her. Alien's form shimmers into view, their starlit face grave, and their voice steady but heavy with urgency. The seal is broken, they say, their words resonating in the stillness. The darkness is already seeping through. To repair it, the crystal must be reforged, but the cost is steep. It will require a sacrifice, your life force, bound to the moon's heart. The words hang in the air like a death knell, and Lyra feels the weight of them settle over her. Her chest tightens, her breath catching as the reality of the choice before her sinks in. Sacrifice herself to save the galaxy, or walk away and risk unleashing an ancient chaos that could consume everything. The staff in her hand hums faintly, its energy a reminder of the power she's gained, but also of the responsibility she now carries. Alien's gaze softens, their voice quieter now, almost gentle. This is not a choice anyone should have to make, but you are the guardian the moon has chosen. Your ancestors entrusted this duty to you, not because they believed you were perfect, but because they believed you were capable. The galaxy's fate rests in your hands. Lyra's mind races, torn between the instinct to survive and the pull of duty. She thinks of the galaxy, the stars, the worlds, the countless lives that would be lost if the darkness breaks free. She thinks of her own life, the dreams she's yet to fulfill, the people she's yet to meet. The weight of it all threatens to crush her, but then she remembers the lessons of the Labyrinth. She's faced her fears, confronted her doubts, and emerged stronger for it. This is just another trial, another choice she must make. Her voice is barely a whisper as she speaks, her eyes fixed on the fractured crystal. If I do this, if I give my life force, will it be enough? Will the seal hold? Alien hesitates, their form flickering faintly. The seal will hold, but the darkness will not rest. It will seek new ways to break free, new cracks to exploit. Your sacrifice will buy time, but the galaxy will need more than just your life to survive. It will need hope, courage, and guardians who are willing to stand against the shadows. Lyra nods, her resolve hardening even as her heart aches. She steps forward, her hand reaching out toward the crystal. The moment her fingers brush its surface, a searing pain shoots through her, sharp and unrelenting. She gasps, her vision blurring as the crystal's energy surges through her, binding her life force to its fractured core. The darkness recoils, its whispers growing louder, more frantic, as if it senses what's coming. Alien's voice fills her mind, calm and steady. You are not alone, Lyra. Your ancestors stand with you, their strength flowing through you, and when this is done, your sacrifice will inspire others to rise. The galaxy will remember your name. The pain intensifies, but Lyra doesn't pull away. She channels her resolve, her courage, her love for the galaxy into the crystal, her energy merging with its light. The cracks begin to mend, the darkness retreating as the seal is reforged. But as the light grows brighter, Lyra feels her strength waning, her body growing heavier, her thoughts slowing. The last thing she sees before the light consumes her is Alien's face, their expression, a mix of pride and sorrow. The last thing she feels is the warmth of the crystal's energy, a final, fleeting comfort. And then there is only silence. The seal is whole, the darkness contained for now, but the cost of that victory is etched into the very heart of the moon, a reminder of the guardian who gave everything to protect the galaxy. As Lyra channels the last of her strength into the crystal, the air around her crackles with tension. The darkness, sensing its imminent defeat, surges violently, coalescing into a towering figure of swirling shadows. Its form is jagged and shifting, its eyes glowing like embers in the void. The shadowy figure looms over her, its voice a guttural growl that reverberates through the chamber. "You think you can seal me away?" It snarls, its words laced with malice. "Your sacrifice will mean nothing. The galaxy will fall, and you will be forgotten." Lyra steps back, her grip tightening on the staff as the figure advances. The weight of her decision presses down on her, but she doesn't falter. She raises the staff, its light flaring brighter as she summons the moon's energy. The battle begins with a clash of light and shadow, each strike sending shock waves through the cavern. The staff's power cuts through the darkness, but the figure reforms almost instantly, its attacks growing more relentless with every passing moment. The toll on Lyra's body is immediate. Her muscles ache, her breath comes in short, labored gasps, and her vision blurs with exhaustion. Yet she pushes forward, driven by a determination that refuses to waver. The staff hums in her hands, its energy a steady anchor in the chaos. She remembers Alien's words, her ancestors' strength flows through her, their legacy a guiding light in the darkness. With each strike, she channels their courage, their resolve, their unyielding belief in a brighter future. The shadowy figure lashes out, its claws narrowly missing her as she dodges with a speed born of desperation. The cavern trembles, the walls cracking under the force of their battle. Lyra's movements grow slower, her strength waning, but her spirit remains unbroken. She knows she can't afford to fail, not when the galaxy's fate hangs in the balance. With a cry of defiance, she summons a burst of energy, the staff's light erupting in a blinding wave that forces the figure back. For a moment, the darkness retreats, its form flickering like a flame in the wind, but it's far from defeated. The figure reforms, its voice a mocking whisper. "You cannot win," it hisses. "You are but a flicker of light in an endless void. What hope do you have against the inevitable?" Lyra's response is silent but resolute. She steps forward, her movements deliberate despite the pain coursing through her body. The staff's energy pulses in time with her heartbeat, its light growing brighter as she channels every ounce of her strength. She knows this battle is not just about power, it's about will, about the choice to stand against the darkness, no matter the cost, and she has made her choice. The battle rages on, each strike a testament to Lyra's determination. The shadowy figure's attacks grow more ferocious, its claws tearing at her defenses, but she holds her ground. Her body screams for rest. Her mind teeters on the edge of collapse, but she refuses to yield. The staff's light becomes a beacon, cutting through the darkness and driving the figure back with every strike. The cavern trembles, the air alive with the clash of light and shadow, as Lyra fights not just for the galaxy, but for the hope that even in the face of despair, courage can prevail. As the final moments of the battle draw near, Lyra's strength begins to fail. Her movements slow, her strikes falter, and the shadowy figure seizes the opportunity to press its advantage. It looms over her, its form a towering mass of darkness, its eyes burning with triumph. But Lyra doesn't back down. With the last of her energy, she raises the staff, its light blazing with the combined strength of her resolve and the moon's ancient power. The darkness recoils, its form flickering as the light consumes it, and for a moment the chamber falls silent. The shadowy figure is gone, but the victory comes at a cost. Lyra collapses to her knees, her body trembling with exhaustion, her strength spent. The staff's light dims, its hum fading into a soft whisper. She knows she's reached her limit, but she also knows she's done what she set out to do. The darkness is contained, the seal restored, and the galaxy is safe. For now, as the cavern's light softens, Lyra closes her eyes, her final thoughts a quiet prayer for those who will carry on the fight. The moon's heart beats on, its light a testament to the guardian who gave everything to protect it. The cavern trembles as the shadows recoil, their forms flickering and writhing in the wake of Lyra's blinding burst of light. For a moment, the oppressive darkness retreats, giving her a precious window of opportunity. Her body aches, her breath shallow and uneven, but there's no time to rest. The staff in her hand still hums faintly, its energy a fragile thread connecting her to the moon's heart. She knows this is her only chance. The darkness will recover, and when it does, it will return stronger than ever. Alien's voice cuts through the chaos, calm yet urgent. The seal must be reforged now, they say, their starlit form flickering as they hover beside her. The ritual requires everything you have, your life force, your resolve, your very essence. But know this, Lyra, your sacrifice will not be in vain. The galaxy will remember your courage. Lyra nods, her fingers tightening around the staff. She doesn't hesitate. With the last of her strength, she steps toward the fractured crystal, its surface pulsing faintly as though it senses her presence. The air around it crackles with energy, and she feels the weight of the moment pressing down on her. This isn't just about sealing the darkness. It's about honoring her ancestors, protecting the galaxy, and ensuring that their sacrifices were not in vain. As she begins the ritual, a surge of energy flows from the staff into the crystal, the light growing brighter with every passing second. The cracks in the crystal begin to mend, the tendrils of darkness retreating as the seal slowly reforms. But the cost is immediate and immense. Lyra feels her strength ebbing away, her life force merging with the crystal's light. Each breath becomes a struggle, her vision blurring as the ritual takes its toll. Alien's voice softens, their tone almost gentle. Focus, Lyra. The crystal responds to your will. Pour your resolve into it, your love for the galaxy, your hope for the future. Let those emotions guide you. Lyra closes her eyes, her mind racing as she channels everything she has left into the crystal. She thinks of the stars, the worlds, the countless lives that depend on her. She thinks of her ancestors, their courage, their sacrifices, and she thinks of the future, a galaxy free from the darkness, where others can live without fear. Her resolve hardens, and the crystal's light grows brighter, its hum resonating with her heartbeat, but the darkness isn't finished. As the seal begins to solidify, the shadows surge forward, their whispers growing louder, more desperate. They claw at the edges of the light, their forms twisting and writhing as they try to break through. Lyra's body trembles under the strain, her strength fading faster than she can replenish it. She knows she can't hold out much longer. Alien's voice rises, sharp and commanding. Do not falter, Lyra. The galaxy's fate rests in your hands. Remember why you fight, not for yourself, but for those who will come after. For the hope you carry. With a final, desperate cry, Lyra channels all that remains of her strength into the crystal. The light erupts in a blinding wave, consuming the chamber and scattering the shadows. The seal reforms completely, its surface smooth and unbroken, the darkness contained once more, but the victory comes at a cost. Lyra collapses to her knees, her body trembling, her breath coming in shallow gasps. She feels the weight of her sacrifice settling over her, the realization that this is the end. As the light fades, Alien's form shimmers into view one last time. Their expression is a mix of pride and sorrow, their voice soft but filled with gratitude. You have done what few could, Lyra. Your courage has saved the galaxy. The moon's heart beats with your strength, your light, and though your journey ends here, your legacy will live on. Lyra smiles faintly, her vision fading as the crystal's light envelops her. She feels no fear, no regret, only peace. The galaxy is safe, and that is enough. As the last of her strength slips away, the moon's heart pulses with a steady, unyielding light, a beacon of hope for those who will carry on the fight. The darkness may return, but for now, the galaxy has been given a chance, and that is all she ever wanted. The chamber grows colder as Lyra pours the last of her strength into the ritual, the crystal's light flaring brighter with every passing moment. The cracks in its surface begin to mend, the darkness retreating as the seal slowly reforms, but the shadows are far from defeated. With a deafening roar, they surge forward, their forms twisting and writhing as they lash out at her. The darkness strikes with a ferocity that shakes the very foundations of the cavern, its claws tearing through the air like jagged blades. Lyra stumbles, her body trembling under the onslaught. Her vision blurs, her movements slowing as exhaustion threatens to overwhelm her. The staff in her hand flickers, its light dimming as the shadows close in. She raises it, summoning a burst of energy to push them back, but the effort leaves her breathless. The darkness retaliates with a vengeance, its whispers growing louder, more insistent, as if it senses her weakening resolve. Just as the shadows are about to overtake her, a brilliant light erupts beside her. Alien's starlit form materializes, their presence a beacon of hope in the chaos. Hold on, Lyra, they say, their voice steady despite the urgency in their tone. Without hesitation, Alien channels their remaining energy into a protective barrier, shielding her from the darkness's relentless attacks. The barrier shimmers faintly, its light flickering under the strain, but it holds, for now. Lyra's eyes widen as she realizes what Alien is doing. "You can't," she begins, but Alien cuts her off, their voice firm yet gentle. "This is my choice," they say. "The galaxy needs you to finish this. I will hold them back as long as I can." The words strike a chord deep within her, and though her heart aches at the thought of losing Alien, she knows there's no time to argue. The seal must be reforged, no matter the cost. With Alien's barrier holding the darkness at bay, Lyra turns her full attention to the crystal. She channels every ounce of her remaining strength into the ritual, her hands trembling as the energy flows from the staff into the fractured seal. The light grows brighter, the hum of the crystal resonating with her heartbeat. The cracks begin to close, the darkness retreating as the seal reforms. But the effort is immense, and she feels her strength fading fast. Alien's barrier flickers, the shadows pressing closer with every passing moment. "Hurry, Lyra," they urge, their voice strained but unwavering. "You must finish the ritual now." Lyra nods, her jaw tightening with determination. She pushes past the pain, past the exhaustion, pouring everything she has into the crystal. The light erupts in a blinding wave, consuming the chamber and scattering the shadows. The seal reforms completely, its surface smooth and unbroken, the darkness trapped once more. As the light fades, Alien's barrier shatters, their form flickering faintly before dissolving into starlight. Lyra collapses to her knees, her body trembling with exhaustion, her breath coming in shallow gasps. The cavern falls silent, the weight of her sacrifice settling over her, but there's no time to rest. The seal is whole, the darkness contained, but the cost has been steep. Alien is gone, their energy spent to give her the time she needed. Lyra looks down at the staff in her hand, its light now faint but steady. She knows the battle isn't over, not truly. The darkness may be sealed, but its presence lingers, a reminder that the galaxy's safety is fragile. Still, as she rises to her feet, her resolve hardens. She's not just a guardian of the moon, she's a beacon of hope, a testament to the courage it takes to stand against the shadows. The galaxy may face countless challenges, but for now, it's safe, and that's enough. The cavern grows still, the chaotic hum of battle fading into a serene, almost musical silence. The moon's core stabilizes, its fractured crystal now whole and pulsing with a steady, radiant light. The emerald glow returns, brighter and more vibrant than ever, washing over the chamber in a soothing, otherworldly haze. Lyra collapses to her knees, her body trembling with exhaustion, every muscle screaming for rest. Yet, despite the physical toll, her spirit remains unbroken, a quiet strength burning within her. Alien's voice echoes softly in her mind, their tone filled with a warmth that feels almost tangible. "You have done it, Lyra," they say, their words carrying a weight of pride and gratitude. The seal is whole, the darkness contained, the galaxy is safe, and it is because of your courage. The words are a balm to her weary soul, a reminder that her sacrifice, her relentless fight, was not in vain. She smiles faintly, her breath shallow but steady, as the emerald light envelops her like a gentle embrace. The world around her begins to blur, the cavern dissolving into a haze of light and shadow. She feels herself being lifted, carried by an unseen force, as if the moon itself is cradling her. Her consciousness flickers, fading in and out until she awakens on the moon's surface. The air is crisp and cool, the sky above a tapestry of stars. She blinks, her vision clearing, and takes in the sight before her. The temple stands tall and majestic, its emerald walls gleaming in the soft light of the restored moon. The forest, once dim and shrouded, now bursts with life, its bioluminescent trees casting a gentle glow across the landscape. The ground beneath her is soft, the moss vibrant and alive, and the air carries a faint, sweet scent of renewal. It's as if the moon has been reborn, its beauty restored to its former glory. Lyra rises to her feet, her body still weak, but her heart swelling with a quiet sense of triumph. She takes a step forward, her boots sinking slightly into the soft moss, and looks around. The temple's intricate carvings shimmer faintly, their runes glowing with a steady, reassuring light. The forest hums with life, its energy a gentle, soothing presence. Even the shadows seem different now, quieter, less menacing, as if they too have been calmed by the moon's restored balance. Alien's voice returns, softer now, almost a whisper. You have given the galaxy a chance, Lyra, they say. But remember, this is not the end. The darkness may be sealed, but it is not gone. The galaxy will always need guardians, those willing to stand against the shadows, to fight for hope and light, and you have shown them the way. Lyra nods, her gaze fixed on the horizon. She knows the journey isn't over, that challenges still lie ahead, but for now, she allows herself a moment of peace, a chance to breathe and reflect. The moon's heart beats steadily beneath her feet, its light a constant reminder of the strength she carries within. She may be weary, but she is also resilient, a living testament to the power of courage and sacrifice. As she stands there, bathed in the emerald glow, she feels a renewed sense of purpose. The galaxy is vast, its future uncertain, but she knows one thing for certain: as long as there is light, there is hope. And she will be there to protect it, no matter what comes next. The moon's heart beats on, its light a beacon for all who dare to dream of a brighter tomorrow. The air is crisp and quiet as Lyra makes her way back to her ship, the soft hum of the emerald moon's energy still lingering in her veins. Her steps are slow, deliberate, each one carrying the weight of what she's endured and what she's accomplished. The journey has been grueling, filled with trials that tested her resolve, her courage, and even her very essence. Yet, as she approaches her ship, there's a quiet strength in her posture, a sense of purpose that wasn't there before. The moon's light bathes her path, its emerald glow a constant reminder of the battles fought and the sacrifices made. Pausing at the foot of her ship, Lyra turns to gaze at the moon one last time. Its surface shimmers faintly, the temple now a distant silhouette against the horizon. The runes etched into its walls glow softly, their light a testament to the seal she restored. She feels a deep, almost indescribable connection to this place, a bond forged through pain, sacrifice, and triumph. It's as if the moon's heart beats in sync with her own, its energy a part of her now, woven into the very fabric of her being. Climbing into the cockpit, Lyra takes a moment to collect herself. The weight of her journey presses on her, but it's a weight she carries with pride. She's fulfilled her ancestors' legacy, honored their sacrifices, and protected the galaxy from a darkness that could have consumed everything. The thought brings a quiet smile to her lips, though her heart aches with the knowledge of all she's lost along the way. Aliens' absence is a void she feels keenly, their guidance and sacrifice a constant presence in her thoughts. Yet, even in their absence, she feels their strength within her, a steadying force as she prepares for the journey home. Her hands move over the controls with practiced ease, the ship humming to life beneath her. As she lifts off, the emerald moon grows smaller in her viewport, its light fading but never disappearing. She knows she'll carry this place with her, not just in memory, but in spirit. The moon's energy pulses faintly within her, a reminder of the bond they share. It's a connection that transcends time and space, a testament to the choices she made and the legacy she now carries forward. Setting her course for home, Lyra feels a mix of emotions: relief, pride, and a quiet anticipation for what lies ahead. The galaxy is vast, its future uncertain, but she knows her role in it has changed. She's no longer just a wanderer or an explorer. She's a guardian, a protector, a beacon of hope in a universe that often feels shrouded in shadow. The moon's light may fade from view, but its presence remains, a guiding force as she charts her path forward. The stars stretch out before her, infinite and uncharted, each one a reminder of the possibilities that await. For the first time in a long while, Lyra feels a sense of peace. The battles may not be over, and the darkness may still lurk at the edges of the galaxy, but she knows she's ready. The moon's heart beats within her, its light a constant reminder of the strength she carries and the hope she represents. As the ship glides through the void, she looks ahead, her resolve unwavering, her spirit unbroken. The journey continues, and with it, the promise of a brighter tomorrow. As Lyra's ship rises from the moon's surface, a profound stillness settles over the Cassiopeia galaxy. The emerald moon, now glowing with a renewed brilliance, seems to hold its breath. Then, without warning, it pulses, a single, radiant burst of light that cascades outward like a wave, illuminating the vast expanse of stars and nebulae. The light travels farther than Lyra could have imagined, its emerald hue painting the cosmos in vivid streaks of green and gold. It's as if the moon itself is sending a message, a beacon of hope to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. In the wake of this luminous surge, something extraordinary begins to unfold. On distant worlds, long-dormant celestial beings stir, their slumber broken by the moon's radiant pulse. These ancient entities, once guardians of their own realms, sense the shift in the cosmic balance. The darkness that once threatened to consume the galaxy has been contained, its malevolent influence pushed back by Lyra's courage and sacrifice. The celestial beings awaken not with fear, but with a quiet reverence, their forms shimmering faintly as they acknowledge the moon's call. From her cockpit, Lyra watches in awe as the light spreads, its brilliance illuminating stars and planets she's never seen before. She feels a deep, unshakable connection to this moment, as if the moon's energy is speaking directly to her. It's a reminder that her actions have rippled far beyond the moon's surface, touching the very fabric of the cosmos. The weight of this realization settles over her, not as a burden, but as a profound sense of purpose. She understands now that her journey isn't just about sealing the darkness, it's about restoring balance, about ensuring that light and hope can thrive in a universe often overshadowed by uncertainty. As the light fades, leaving the galaxy bathed in a soft, lingering glow, Lyra feels a quiet resolve take root within her. She knows her role has shifted. She's no longer just a wanderer or an explorer. She's a guardian, a protector of the stars themselves. The moon's pulse has awakened something in her, a strength and clarity that she didn't know she possessed. It's a calling, one she accepts with both humility and determination. The galaxy may still face challenges, but Lyra is ready to meet them, her path illuminated by the light she helped restore. Her hands steady on the ship's controls, Lyra sets her course for the stars. The emerald moon fades into the distance, its light now a quiet but constant presence in her heart. Ahead lies the unknown, a universe filled with endless possibilities and untold stories. But for the first time, Lyra feels a sense of peace. She knows she's not alone, not just because of the celestial beings now awakening across the galaxy, but because of the strength she's found within herself. The moon's heart beats on, its light a beacon for all who dare to dream of a brighter tomorrow. And as Lyra's ship glides into the void, she carries that light with her, a guardian of the stars, ready to face whatever comes next. The journey back to her home, galaxy, feels both familiar and strange, as if the stars themselves have shifted in Lyra's absence. Her ship glides through the vast expanse of space, the emerald moon now a distant memory, its light still pulsing faintly in her thoughts. As she approaches her homeworld, the sight of its bustling cities and vibrant skies fills her with a quiet sense of belonging. Yet, something within her has changed. She's no longer the same wanderer who set out on this quest. She's a guardian now, her spirit forged in the crucible of the moon's trials, her heart alight with the lessons she's learned. When her ship touches down, the air is thick with anticipation. Word of her journey has spread, carried by the emerald pulse that illuminated the galaxy. Her people gather, their faces a mix of awe and curiosity, eager to hear the tale of the guardian who faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Lyra steps onto the platform, her eyes scanning the crowd. For a moment, she hesitates, the weight of her story pressing on her shoulders. But then she begins to speak, her voice steady and clear, each word carrying the weight of her experiences. She tells them of the emerald moon, its ancient secrets, and the darkness that threatened to consume everything. She speaks of the labyrinth, of the shadows that mirrored her deepest fears, and of the crystal that demanded everything she had to give. Her story is not just one of struggle and sacrifice, but of hope, of the light that endures even in the face of overwhelming darkness. As she speaks, her people listen in rapt silence, their eyes reflecting the emerald glow she brought back with her. When she finishes, the crowd erupts in applause, but Lyra feels something deeper than pride. She sees the spark of determination in their eyes, the same fire that once burned within her. Young navigators step forward, their hands trembling as they ask her questions about the stars, about courage, about what it means to be a guardian. Lyra answers them with patience and warmth, her words a beacon for those who dream of exploring the unknown. The emerald moon, once a distant mystery, has become a symbol, a reminder that even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, light can prevail. Yet, as the celebrations continue, Lyra finds herself gazing at the stars. The darkness may be sealed, but she knows it's not gone. The galaxy is vast, its challenge is endless, and the role of a guardian is never truly complete. She feels a quiet resolve settle over her, a determination to continue the fight, not just for her people, but for all who call the stars their home. The emerald moon's light pulses faintly in her memory, a constant reminder of the power of courage and sacrifice. As the night deepens, Lyra steps away from the crowd, her eyes fixed on the horizon. The stars stretch out before her, infinite and uncharted, each one a promise of new beginnings and untold stories. She feels a smile tug at her lips, her heart full of wonder and determination. The journey may be far from over, but she's ready. The galaxy is vast, its future uncertain, but as long as there are those willing to stand against the shadows, there will always be hope. And Lyra, the guardian of the Emerald Moon, will be there to light the way.